Heart Radio. I'm your host. I'm your host. I'm your host, Deb Goldberg. Let's not start that way. Okay. We're not doing that. It brings me great pleasure to be here with you today. It's an honor to serve you in the highest ways that I can by bringing you messages of divine love and blessings for your life. You are dearly blessed and cherished. We have an awesome show for you. We have had a day, a 13-hour day of healing on Enlightened World Network on Facebook. We have had 22 sessions of healers that were just amazing. It was the spectrum of all different types of healing. So I'd like to introduce I have lots of folks on with us tonight, and we have Ruth Anderson from Enlightened World.
Hello.
And we have Teri Angel from Angel Speakers, and she is also from Angel Heart Radio. And we have Anaya Joyho Lilly, who is the founder of Angel Heart Radio, and Carol Ann Cross, who is also a podcast host on Angel Heart Radio. So welcome everybody to our ceremony of light to celebrate and also process our day of what it was like to do live streaming of 22 different healing sessions. It was amazing. We called our day.
That was yesterday.
What happened? That was yesterday. Oh, thank you. That was yesterday. You gave it to me right there. That was yesterday. Healing Our Stories. We have been going at it for 3 days. Is it 2 days or 3 days? I don't even know. We have been going at this to bring you this beautiful, beautiful day of healing. And it has been, it's been a lot of work, but it has been a lot of joy and really heartfelt. All the healers that we have had on that have brought their gifts to everybody for individual and planetary healing. So somebody's phone is ringing. Sorry. So we have bloopers. We didn't have any all day long. We're going to have them on our Angel Radio.
We're going to do them live.
We're going to do them live. So
I like bloopers.
Right. So do you want to talk a little bit about what your experience was as hosting this?
Sure.
Okay.
So today we started our morning welcoming in the divinity to our home. So we are in one home. So Teri is from Florida. Deb is from Pennsylvania, and I'm from Colorado. So we decided to get together in Florida to bring this to you. So we basically had our own retreat here. We're still having our retreat.
Yes.
And we opened our doors in our hearts to have you all join us. So welcome to our retreat. So this morning we welcomed in Divine Mother and some of the archangels into the home to be with us during this day of healing. In particular, we asked in Archangels Michael, Raphael, Metatron, Gabriel, Cassiel, Azrael, Raziel, Uriel, and Ariel. And they stayed with us throughout the whole day. Now we felt it was really interesting because normally when I'm working with somebody, I can feel it from a distance. I was too enmeshed in it today. I literally couldn't back up out of it to see it, but I felt it. And I felt like the home feels full, truly. It feels full of energetic life. It feels full of the archangels, Divine Mother, ascended masters. This is, am I wrong? Are you guys feeling
Yeah,
it?
Absolutely.
It has, yeah.
Absolutely. I said to the last podcaster that we're on with, I felt like, or I feel like I've been through a car wash. I really do, even with all the scrubbing and the thing going around and around, because it was a lot of circular energy happening today. And it's like, I've been through a car wash and a spiritual car wash, but it was awesome, amazing energy. I felt every one of them. It was so palpable what was happening with the energy.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
I felt like I'd been at a day spa. Now I'm ready for dinner and a drink. Just
Love that thing.
join us, would you please, ladies? We'd love to have you join
Yes,
us.
we would love to have you join us.
But I would love it if as we're going through this tonight, if y'all could just relax, enjoy yourself with us, and see if you can't also experience the archangels in Divine Mother. I know, Inea, your session tonight, Divine Mother was right there with you. So I'm excited that you felt that. But I want to share my appreciation to the speakers, because they came on with no agenda other than being there for you all. No, they're not selling things. Nobody mentioned a promo. It just wasn't a part of the day. It was to provide individual healing as well as healing for the planet, for humanity, for nature, the waterways, air. It was a beautiful gift today, and I'm so appreciative of that. And I'm also grateful to those of you who are watching. We know that some of you have been with us all day long, and we can't thank you enough. And for anybody who watches this in the future, we're so glad you're with us. It just is, it means so much to us that you trust us and want to spend your time with us. Thank you. Did you want to say something else before we do the recap?
Yeah, I just wanted to also say the same thing, because everybody just stepped up to the plate and wanted to pitch in for individual and planetary healing. And like, it was just so heartfelt. Every single person that helped us out today was amazing. It was so spiritually driven. Every single session we had was completely spiritually driven. Everybody was centered and really bringing forth love. And you don't always get to see that. So I'm really grateful to be part of that. And I know that I'm going to go back and watch a lot of the videos, because sometimes we were so busy doing what we needed to do that we didn't get to watch all the videos yet. And so you know, you could just keep replaying them because they'll be on Enlightened World Network and on Angel Heart Radio, that you can go back to them at any time and watch 22 sessions of healing.
And please share them out too. If there's one that touches you, that really makes an impact, share it with whoever you think could use that energy.
Yeah, definitely.
So should we do our recap?
Let's do a recap.
Let's do a recap. Okay, our first speaker was Chris Kucherin, and I've been practicing his name all day. Chris is really a gentle man. He received the gift of channeling rainbow energy healing from Archangel Michael. And this session was a rainbow energy healing session. And what I really appreciated as I was experiencing his meditation, I could see the particles, the quantum particles of my body separating, like every cell by cell separating, and rainbow color energy coming in and swirling in between the particles. And I thought, what an amazing way to receive healing, by having divine light and divine love swirl through in between each one of my particles of my body. It was so cool. So that's what stood out to me from Chris.
I loved what Chris said during that time. He said, I become a living vessel. And to receive that energy in and know that every bit of us is alive. You know, there's nothing that's not energy. So that was really beautiful. And then he says, life is. And sometimes we forget that. We start projecting forward or looking backwards, but life is. Enjoy it in that present moment. That was what stood out with Chris for me.
I don't know if you, I know you two live in Australia and Caroline. So I know that we were live streaming from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. your time. And I didn't know if you had a chance. So how about we do this instead of just going around everybody? When you feel like you have seen some of the videos that we shared and you feel like you want to share, just pop in and tell us your thoughts, okay?
Okay, well, I watched Chris's presentation, and the rainbow energy was just absolutely beautiful. It was divine, and I was so pleased to be able to hear it and to feel it and to enjoy it and to love it. It was beautiful.
Same. And even just looking at Chris's face, he just felt like he's, like you said, Ruth, he's a gentle man. That feeling came across to me. And it was just a feeling of being in that space, that rainbow space, where every color is represented, colors that we can see and all the colors that we can't see. And it just felt very expansive to me. So I really enjoyed, I haven't watched them all yet because, you know, I woke up this morning, so I start watching, you know, I can just see everyone. But Chris is one that I have had the opportunity to see. And I just want to thank you, Chris. You really brought forward something beautiful for us all.
Yeah. And I especially liked some of the things that he said. I allow myself to be moldable, become the highest version of myself. And he talked a lot about connecting with your creator for healing divine love. And he would say, I'm healing now. I am healing now. And then sending gratitude for the divine assistance that's always there for us. And so I really enjoyed his meditation and felt very grounded in it and really enjoyed the centering of it.
Good. All right, who's next? Moses Landon.
Yeah.
Moses was a treat. I had heard Moses on an interview with Sherry Myers, so I was familiar with his philosophy and how he conducts himself. And I'd also talked to him personally on the phone, but to experience that light language activation that he did, there's no word for it. There really are no words for what we experienced with him today. It was phenomenal. And when he taught us in the very beginning, before he even went into the activation, lift up with the in-breath and release, the whole time he was doing the activation, I was automatically doing it. I didn't have to think. I just did it. And it was so powerful. And I loved what he said. You're enlightened by your shadow. And many of us run from our shadow. We don't want to look at it. We don't want to face that. But he says you have to walk through your shadows time again to get to your light. Shadows are not to be seen as something bad. There is no bad. There is no good. There's no bad. It all just is. But when we think how much we don't want to look at those shadows, we're missing out on so much. We're missing out on the big picture. So I'm very grateful to Moses for bringing out that shamanic healing, the light language, the transmission, all of it. It was just profound.
It truly was. And what I really liked is him talking about God creator provided all things for us to connect. I've started seeing themes running through as the healers started to happen. There were themes running through all of their healings, and it was just beautiful. And it started out with really connecting with divine love, and that we have been given, like Moses had said, that God's provided all of these things for us to connect. And and walking through, like you said, walking through the shadows so that you can become a messenger of light. So that really stood out to me too.
What was intriguing for me, Archangel Michael has been dictating, suggesting that we put together summits. And every summit so far has been only women. And that was my directive, to only have women. Well, when we were told about putting together a day of healing, the words were time to invite them in. And we did invite them in. And it was very different energy for us today to have both men and women here. So kudos, thank you, gentlemen, for showing up. It was so enriching, I think.
It was. They showed up in power.
They did.
Every one of them.
Every one of them in their own way.
The gentleness was so apparent, even in that strength. And that was one of the things that was so exciting to me when I got online this morning. There were all these men's faces. And so often you go to a spiritual gathering, you go to a spiritual church, whatever, it's usually predominantly women. And to see all these beautiful men's faces just really brought home to me how much the call is being taken up and answered for us all to come together like this. And I haven't had the opportunity yet to watch the video with Moses, but I will be. I'm going to be watching them all. And I just want to remind everyone, if you're listening to this as a podcast, you can see all of these videos anytime on enlightenedworld.online, on Facebook at Enlightened World Network, and of course on Facebook as Angel Heart Radio. So make the most of them, because they're gifts and because they have been given so generously, so graciously, and so freely. This is an opportunity for you to come in at any time. So say you're having a hard day, go pick a video. Watch it for 2 minutes, watch it the whole way through, watch it for 10 minutes. Doesn't matter. The energy is what's important, isn't it?
Thank you.
And I haven't had the opportunity to look at Moses's episode either, but looking at his face is so light and inviting, and I feel that I learned so much just looking at him. And to me, the wonderful thing about bringing the men in this time is it's bringing a balance. You know, it's not just for women, it's bringing a balance, because it's something to me is that's so important, to have that balance in everything that we do. And so I'm looking forward to seeing all the ones that I haven't seen, especially Moses's. I'm looking forward to that.
Enjoy it, Carol. I promise you, you'll enjoy it.
I think that's what the angels wanted when they said to bring in the masculine. We're that balanced energy now. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's important.
Mira, Ruben, we had a tapping experience with Mira, and it was for clearing resistance and fear from and how we show up in the world, about how we're afraid to be seen or how we're afraid to speak up. And so she did a whole like a half hour almost of tapping, of allowing all those fears to be released. And I could just feel it inside me as we kept going on, that it just kept shifting to joy and excitement about embracing your magnificence, and to really not be afraid to show up, to even if you are, to keep showing up, that we need to allow our light to shine brilliantly. So she and to have actually full expression of ourselves. And so it was a wonderful tapping experience.
And so those of you that aren't familiar with tapping, it's called EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. It's really kind of fascinating. We'll talk about that a little bit more with John Fiore.
Yes.
Anything else about Mira?
I watched some of Mira's. I wasn't able to watch all of it. Like we said earlier, we had to do a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. But it caught my attention when she was doing the setup statement. The setup statement is what you're wanting to work on. And what she used was, I'm powerless to change the world. So we worked on that. We worked on going from feeling that out of control, not being able to do anything, to really coming into our power. And I love how that can happen through a technique like this. So I'm really grateful for Mira bringing that to us.
So I think something we forgot is that we started with a 30-minute silent healing meditation. And I didn't want to skip over that.
I was going to do the two of them together.
Oh, you were?
Can we do
I didn't
that?
know that.
You can do it now.
Yeah,
You
why
want
don't
to
we
do it now?
We could do them
Okay.
now.
Let me find it.
Okay, because, you know, we started, it was funny how things unfolded because we had two people to start right away at 8 o'clock in the morning and both of them canceled. And it was perfect because what we needed to do is actually set up what the day was going to be like. So the three of us came on and did the first half hour and decided what the intention was for this day was to let go of the old stories and that all of these things are in the past and that the past doesn't have to dictate every moment, that we are healing. We already have been healed. So what we had, I don't know, was there six people?
Five or six for the first
There
one.
were 6 for the first one.
And it was so powerful. And while I was sitting in the meditation with them, and it was silent. So each person had their own type of healing that they were doing, but they were muted. And everybody was sending out healing at the same time, but nobody could hear them. So they were just sending the energy. But what came to me is that we actually, from starting it that way, started a continuous vortex of love and light through a giving and receiving process, because at the same time, as we were sending out energy for healing and ascending, it was coming back. It just created a vortex. And it was so powerful, and it just picked up momentum for the rest of the day. So it was wonderful.
It was really powerful. A great start.
Right. Well, the interesting thing about these two sessions is that we were talking with Ivana Bozo-Morano, who's one of our Enlightened World speakers. And I'm getting this vision, guys, that we're supposed to have a screen full of healers, which on Zoom you can see, 24 people at a time. She said, we're supposed to have a screen full of healers, but we're not hearing it. We're just doing their work. And we kind of let that resonate a little bit. I'm getting goosebumps even saying this. And we knew she was right. And so we just set aside some time to figure out, okay, how do we do this? And what does this look like? But we knew it was the right thing to do. So we reached out to folks that we haven't necessarily worked with before, but we're interested in working with. And we wanted to see if it was a good fit. And I can tell you, sitting in front of the screen this morning with 6, or in the second one, 9 healers, I could feel it. I could feel the energy. And the first session was for healing individual issues. And I could definitely feel it. And I felt I was not triggered, but I could feel expansion in my heart space. And in my head, there was like this fluttering. And I thought, how fascinating. 2 different people in their own method are sending healing. And I was feeling at least 2 of them at once. And then later, the second session was healing for planetary, big picture, the waterways, the air, nature, humanity. And looking at those 9 healers, and I closed my eyes, the energy literally pushed me back from the computer. And it was palpable. And I remember thinking, if this is the energy from 9 people combining their energies, what would it be like to do 100? What would it be like to do 1,000? So we've got some big goosebumps, big picture plans. Thanks to Archangel Michael and Ivana Bozo-Morano. So thank you for speaking up, Ivana.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that second session was so powerful And when we put the word out, we asked, would you like to do this? We didn't pick the healers. The angels picked the healers, but we just put the word out, and then people volunteered to be on at those times. The second session had Rachel Collier-Hammond, who was our last speaker of the day. She shared with me before we went on live that she noticed as soon as she came on, there were 3 of those healers from California. And where they were located in California was like in a straight line down the state. She said,
Oh,
that whole healing session.
Wow.
And it was so beautiful, it's so profound. And I got so many visions as we were doing that healing session. I asked the angels to show what was being healed and to show the effect of us sending out that energy. And they showed me new growth. They showed me trees blossoming, people blossoming. So there, it was profound, and it did make an impact. And we know that for a fact. That energy went out there and is making a difference still in the world.
that's right. Because once you start it, it just keeps flowing. That's the thing, isn't it? Just because the video's over, it's really amazing to remember that that energy is working always. It doesn't need a timesheet. It doesn't need a battery pack. It's just, you know, it's just working all the time. And this is what's so profound about what you guys are creating, because not only are you creating it, you're giving us the opportunity to be a part of it. And I can only imagine the work you've put in. I probably can't really imagine it, honestly. It's so much. And yet here we all are. You know what I mean? Here we all are. And we are still holding the space just by talking about it. We're still holding the space for everything that's happened. Whether I haven't seen mirrors yet, for example, but I've seen a mirror is just so wonderful. There's something about her that just excites my heart. It's incredible. So as we're talking about, then I haven't seen the silent ones yet either, but I know that, and this is for you guys listening too, talk about the ones that you really got something out of with your friends, because that helps to keep you in that energy field. It also helps to spread that joy of it, doesn't it?
Helps it to keep rippling out to everybody, and that's what the whole point is, to ripple the healing out as far and as wide as we can get for everyone and everything.
Right, exactly.
And that all of that healing power is in the replays too. So not like you got to be there live. It is important to, that you still can get everything that you could have gotten from watching it live on the replay.
That's exactly right, because that energy is a living, breathing, pulsing, magnificent being all of its own. You know, that's a great point, Deb. It's so important to remember that. You can watch it in 10 years' time. It's not going to matter. You're going to get your own experience out of that. And you can watch it over and over and maybe have a different experience each and every time.
Yeah.
Right. So ready? We're going to move on to Dr. Heather Harder. Now, Heather to me is so solid and so grounded. And every time she's with us on Enlightened World, I feel like I'm going to school. You know, she has been doing this work for so many years and has had so many experiences. She's written, I don't know, a gazillion books. But every time I learn. So thank you, Heather, for that. You know what? I was so deep in her meditation, I took no notes. So I stand to you at this moment, transformed, and I don't even really know what I transformed from. Does that make sense?
Makes me want to watch it really badly.
Yeah, me too.
She's amazing.
Yeah, her meditation was so full and expansive. You know, went to connecting to the divine and letting go of fears and being able to step into your power and so that you could experience all of the life that you came here for. And then she talked about calling in the angels to remove reptilian influence which was really interesting. And she also talked about, these are things that I found really interesting, that there are no cords, you're not tied to anyone, that the only thing that keeps you together is unconditional love.
Wow.
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 Wow. That was profound.
Yes.
Yeah. And tapping into the wisdom of yourself. So it's a beautiful meditation, and it's very expansive. It covers a lot of different things that we deal with that need to have feelings towards our belief system.
And I do remember this, that it was very much a meditation for healers to be able to truly stand into their full potential.
I had never heard a meditation by her before.
No?
So it was just profound and very healing. It wasn't how I've always seen her. It was like a different role. So it was good to see that, and very grateful for her today.
Aaron Fowler. I didn't get to see Aaron.
No,
Not yet.
Aaron Fowler is a shaman, and his energy is really beautiful, and the care of wanting to pray for other people and send them love. He asked for other healers to come on to say hi, to send love with him out into the universe. He did a lot of holding space and sending love to the Middle East. He focused his love in different parts of the world that he felt needed, and that other people that were texting on Facebook to us in the chat, that they asked for healing for family members. It was just really beautiful. And it was all about letting go of hatred and fear, and to believe in unity and not separation. But it was just a beautiful, caring meditation for humanity of sharing love and light. It was beautiful.
I got a lot out of Aaron's. It was just, I can't even put my finger on it. There was something about it that, I don't know, I just felt very enveloped by it somehow. And what happened for me through the course of that meditation, when he invited us to focus our energy on somewhere on the planet and notice where that was, of course, my energy immediately went throughout Australia with all these fires. And it was so clear to me. I could see all the maps of all these fires, and I could see them just going, psh, 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 all being put out. Most of them being put out, a huge amount of them. And it was very powerful, because it was only the other day that I realized how much sadness I had around what's been happening in Australia for people and for animals. The land itself is amazing, because a lot of Australia is actually designed to burn for regeneration. It's extraordinary how it happens. This is massive scale. It's, we're out of balance here completely. But the land regenerates very quickly. The trees are another matter. They take time to grow, of course. But seeing that compassion that I was feeling was fantastic, because what happened was it shifted me out of the sadness and the fear around it, and it just shifted me into that beautiful stream of focused healing energy. So, Aaron, thank you.
Stacey Harder.
I got to work with Stacey Harder today. And I love working with Stacey because her energy is so bright and so bubbly. She took us through a beautiful chakra clearing, very invigorating. She was actually, I believe, the only person that had us stand up and do something. So that was, I was thankful for that. She helped us to bring in the prana, or life force, and to let go of what was no longer serving us. So she, I think, really gave us maybe the deepest chakra clearing, perhaps. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but she really took us through it. She was helping us pull pain and grief and angst out of our bodies, relaxing, really seeing sort of what that was and letting it go, transmuting it. She talked about how our hands are an expression of our hearts and the importance of hugs and touch. I thought that was sweet.
Yes. Yeah, I really enjoyed hers. It's not fun with all the energy that came from her.
Yeah, I just felt lots of spiritual energy just running through me, just watching her move, because she was very physical. And I was like, whoa, I was like, had all this energy just from being in her presence. It was pretty amazing.
Yes, I haven't watched it, but I've found before when I've been on with her that her energy is just so uplifting, and she's such a beacon of light with all that she does and all that she shares with everybody. I just think she's really great. So.
Okay, these next two.
So then we go to Kalina and William. And what a treat that was. Absolute treat. I had heard Kalina. We experienced her during the Enlightened Youth Summit. But I'd never heard William. And Ruth and I had said this earlier, we'd never heard his voice. When he speaks, it's like you listen. You listen. You don't get distracted. You don't think about anything. You're just immersed in that energy. The activation that took place to me was so profound and so powerful. And I appreciated Kalina taking time to really express and explain what light language does and how it activates our DNA. It really does change us when we get immersed in that energy. And it was just so powerful. I got teary-eyed. I was very emotional from it. I felt a lot of cells being changed and energy being released. And I think that was really the session where we started into really releasing energy. We had been focused on what's going on in the planet, what's going on with individual healings, and now we started to let go. So I really appreciate Kalina and William lending their energy. It was just powerful.
You know, when I turned them on, I didn't get to watch all of it, and I had not seen William before. But when I turned it on, I just felt the Christ consciousness. Did you guys? I felt Mary Magdalene, and I felt Christ consciousness. It was really kind of fascinating.
Yeah, very powerful. I didn't get to watch it. Really, maybe I saw a minute of it, and I really like watching her, and I feel like she's a tuning fork for my energy. My energy just responds to her light language. And so I will definitely go back and watch it. And it was about, she had said, the Kundalini activation, allowing the Holy Spirit to rise within us. And it was just so beautiful.
Yeah. And I think that's the emotional part of it, is there was that activation for it to start moving up to Christ consciousness. Just wonderful. So thank you to William.
So exciting. So exciting. And I just again want to say to people, if you're listening to the podcast, make sure you go to enlightenedworld.online and check all of this out. Go to Facebook, Enlightened World Network on Facebook, Angel Heart Radio on Facebook. There's no reason for you not to have access to these incredible people and these amazing opportunities for, I can't even get my head around how much is really being offered, you know? Bless.
Been talking about
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Summer Joy Raymer. Who did Summer?
Me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's amazing. just joy oozes out of her. And I was really grateful to be on with her. I had not done that before, just one-on-one. And she talks about the garden of joy that she has. And she led us through a meditation. And her meditation, she said she sees in the future 2030, and how we've entered into peace and unity, and that all the love that's there is now what we're living with. We're living in more of the divine blueprint. So her meditation was about taking you through that. And then she wanted to dance. And so she put some music on and she danced.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, and it was awesome. She was so graceful and beautiful. And she said her friend actually is the singer of the music that she used. Her name is Kristen Hoffman. And the song is called Reentry. And the song was just so beautiful and meaningful, about really our journey here, about re-entering into the divine blueprint that we are. And the album is called Between the Veils. And so Summer just allowed herself to let the energy come out the way that she wanted to with this music. And it was very freeing watching her. I love to dance and I don't always do it. And I'm watching her and I'm like, this is what I do. Why aren't I doing that? And she said part of her role is pushing people to get out of their comfort zone and to find their freedom and to allow themselves to be who they're meant to be. So it was just a really joyful, wonderful healing session.
So Teri has been the technical expert this whole time, and now her Zoom went down, so you'll get the pretty pictures up soon, I hope. But Teri's been amazing with that.
And I wanted to add about Summer. Summer is like this little sprite. That's what she, and that's the joy that comes through with her. Just absolutely marvelous energy. And she took us on this journey of joy. It was just joyful and it was fun. And you know, when we were given this inspiration, I think you, Michael, the message was have fun. Mm-hmm. Have fun. And Summer just really brought that out for us. She brought out the fun part, the playful part today. Mm-hmm. So I'm grateful to you, Summer, for doing that.
Okay, so are we moving on to Mr. Kapich?
Mm-hmm.
So Peter Kapich, I love Peter Kapich. So when we talk about having males joining us in Enlightened World for a summit, Peter is like a big teddy bear. I mean, he's a tall. I kind of come up to his armpit, right? I mean, he's a really tall man. And when you have been hugged by Peter Kapich, you know you've been hugged by Peter Kapich. He's one of those big hug guys. He taught us one of the, I think he called it a Sensun. It's a Japanese meditation technique. And it was unusual for me because it was with your eyes open. And I always meditate with my eyes closed. So I literally sort of focused on the wall in front of me to turn off my eyes from noticing things. But he showed us how to just be you, just in silence. He said you can even do it at the grocery store when you're standing in line. You know, he's trained himself so well to do that. But I really appreciated that. And just quiet. It was beautiful. And then he also took us through a meditation of loving kindness. And it was a beautiful meditation. I'm wanting to see Peter come out and do a lot more with Enlightened World because he can reach folks. You know, all of these speakers have a different audience, right? They have a different
Yeah.
flavor to their work. And Peter can reach folks that maybe we wouldn't have reached. So I'm really excited to have Peter with us.
Me too. I caught a little bit of his, not the whole thing, and very gentle.
So
That's
gentle.
what I really liked about it. Very gentle energy.
Can I just say something about Peter? I just found his meditation very challenging because, as you say, your eyes open. It was a whole different way of meditating, and my brain kept wanting to do all the things that I always do. But then I stuck with it, and then it was like I reached a tipping point, and oh, there I was. It was so wonderful for me when I finally stuck with it. So if you're listening, go listen to Peter's, and if you find you just want to struggle against it, because I found it quite challenging, as I said, but that tipping point was amazing. Thank you, Peter.
Nice, thank you. Okay, Kevin Morris.
Kevin Morris, I know personally. Kevin is my teacher. He taught me angelic Reiki. And what he did for us today was a whole session of angelic Reiki. The people that were online that were responding to him just, they couldn't express enough how grateful they were for the healing they were receiving. It's a beautiful modality. And I'm so grateful that I have met him, and knowing him in person and then seeing him do this online, it was just like I was right there with him. He's very real. He's very compassionate. He shares his energy so well. Just a caring person, and that's what comes through when he pours that energy out to the world. So I'm very grateful to Kevin for lending his time today. He's a very busy person. He teaches angelic Reiki. He does sessions throughout the day. And I think he shared with us he'd already done 6 sessions before he even came on to do that group session for us. So you know that that's a real heart-centered healing when somebody does that. He did it out of love. So I'm very grateful to Kevin, and I know that people were blessed by it and touched, and they even shared, what was healed. One person said she had such a heavy heart before going through it, and then she felt light. She felt like she'd really received that healing in her heart. So thank you, Kevin, for all you do, all of us. And thank you for that wonderful session. It's profound.
Yeah, he was, I have to say it so far. He's just my favorite. There was something about that man's energy that, I can feel it now sitting here. Oh, wow. I keep wanting to call him Chris for some reason. I don't know why. But Kevin, I just have to say, you really are a blessing to the entire world, and you're certainly a blessing to me. And I'm very, very grateful. I cannot recommend strongly enough. Go and have, especially if you love working with the angels, go and have just go and watch Kevin's. It's just, beautiful. Yeah.
Kevin
We have another
Schoeninger.
Kevin.
Now this one was interesting because the next 2 people work together. So Kevin Schoeninger and Stephen Altair, they are a pair. And so Deb worked with both of them, and they came on. Their show is 1 hour because it's Kevin first and then Stephen. So it's the only one like that.
And it was a beautiful meditation, and they worked really well as a pair. Kevin took us through a meditation to get into your body and to allow the energy to just flow through you. I mean, he started with body parts like your shoulder, your arm, your legs, and to just keep moving energy through you and relaxing. And then Stephen came and took us more into getting connected to the divine and bringing Divine Mother energy into his meditation. and it's all about feeling her love and light in your body, and unconditionally feeling all the love and feeling the light body wake up. And so it was, he's got both of them have lovely energies, but when Stephen brings in Divine Mother, and he's just very what is the word that I want to use? He's just, it's just very loving energy that comes through, and he's got a really nice voice.
They both
too.
have lovely,
They both have very nice,
meditation.
soothing voices that are very appealing when meditating.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
Rebecca
Renee, and
that before. I love the the warm, soothing liquid light that Kevin described and that he brought in, and you could just feel it flowing. And then Stephen coming on with the unconditional love from the Divine Mother. That was the combination of the two was just amazing. It was really good.
The really nice pairing.
Yeah.
Okay. Teri, you did Rebecca Renee and Patrick.
I did
McCormick.
Rebecca Renee and Patrick McCormick. And if you have not heard their session, please watch it, because she brought through such wonderful, she did 2 clearings, and one was ancestral energy. And I think this was like the beginning of going there to that level of healing the ancestry. Rebecca's a wonderful healer, and the energy that she sent out, that clearing activation that she sent out, was very powerful. And I felt it. I've done a lot of ancestral work, so it was interesting that I found there was more to clear. You know, we're all a work in progress, so there's always layers that are going to happen, that are going to be cleared away. So she did the clearings first, and then Patrick came on, and Patrick channels a being called Cartron. Very interesting being that only wants us to have fun, wants us to get into the energy of love, and just to realize that, you know, this human existence doesn't have to be so heavy, that we can play, we can have fun with ourselves while we're here. That's what we're here for, is to enjoy this journey. So Patrick came on and did a channeling from Cartron, and their energy working together is a beautiful energy. So I encourage you, if you haven't seen them yet, to please go on and watch what they do. And they're very close to us right now. They're in Clearwater. This is where they live. And so it was really cool to experience that today, and know that they were just up the road, you know, not far physically from us. So both of them, Rebecca and Patrick, for what they did.
I liked him doing the pillars of transformation. But he had taken it. Well, I didn't get to see the whole thing, unfortunately, but I will go back and watch it. But he kept talking about the pillars of transformation, and it's a worthwhile meditation to do.
John Fiore. I absolutely was delighted with John Fiore. I had not met him before. He's so personable and so genuine. He explained to me about EFT, which is the emotional freedom technique. And what I loved about his session, he taught us how to do it. He showed us the different points, how to do it, in what order, and then he would put an intention to it and then walk us through it. And he walked us through, I don't know, maybe 5 different intentions. He's an amazing teacher. And I was imagining being a teenage boy loving to go to him. He used to be an umpire, and now he does EFT with professional baseball players. And so he's got stories and so genuine. If you're new to EFT, this is the session you want.
It really is. I've known John for quite a while, and I know he won't mind me sharing that he had a stroke think about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And EFT really helped him to get function back again.
Wow.
He understands it thoroughly. And like you said, he teaches it so well. He really does bring you from that beginner point to what you're doing after you've worked with him. So I encourage anyone to watch that session and to get to know John.
And what incredible hope for people. What incredible hope for people who maybe have had a stroke themselves, or maybe a loved one. My dad had several strokes, and there's a lot of fear that you're never going to get better. And isn't it wonderful? Because it's a process, I know, with recovery from stroke. And here's John bringing forward this technique that anyone can do. He teaches us how to do it. And I just take my hat off to you, John. I haven't seen yours yet, but I will definitely, I'm very excited to tap into that. Because, I can feel that, wow, that gratitude in my heart that he shares this with people is beautiful. Thank you, John.
John said that EFT literally saved his life.
That's brilliant. And here he is sharing it.
I know.
Right now. And anyone can learn how to do it from him in this, half an hour session?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well done.
Who's next?
Geraldine Heatherdale. This was such a lovely, it was a prayer, a blessing, a meditation for the water. And really understanding, she takes you through actually understanding how water, the energy of water just resonates with you. And she even took you through a scientific understanding of how speaking to water will have it, was it crystallized or it will?
Yeah, Dr. Emoto's research.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the of really being grateful for water. And so her meditation was to heal the waters, and that we treat it and really have gratitude for water, because we can't live without water. But it was just a beautiful, heartfelt meditation.
And prayer.
And prayer.
The prayer
yeah,
that
the prayer
she
is
wrote.
beautiful.
Yeah, that prayer she wrote. Absolutely.
And we are water.
Mm-hmm.
We are water.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us is water. So healing the water is more than just what we might instantly think of, isn't it?
I absolutely loved Geraldine's, and because I resonate so much to the water. I love being near the water, and I had a friend who lived by a lake, and I absolutely loved it when I could go and visit her and communicate with the water, and when she talked to us about the hurricane, when the hurricane came through in her talk, and it was just wonderful. I really loved her session.
Yeah, and I was there. I ran from Hurricane Irma, and I ran to Geraldine Heatherdale. And that's when I met her live and in person, and we were best friends. She's an amazing woman.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Okay, so that brought us to Gratitude Happy Hour. Karen Palmer and I have been doing Gratitude Happy Hour for a while. We started it a few years ago, and we're back to doing it on Thursdays now. And Karen came on today and did a channeling from Archangel Haniel. And it was all about the inner child and healing the child and letting that inner child express, because so many times we don't let that out. We don't hear what the inner child needs. So Archangel Haniel really helps us get in touch with that. And we can do that, and we understand what's needed. Then about healing. So instead of just stuffing that away and saying, oh, you're just a child, I'm not going to listen to you, I'm going to do it my way, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it, listening to the inner child and really paying attention. So we did a little gratitude today afterward, and it was just a beautiful experience with Karen. I'm so grateful to her. She's all about sharing gratitude and kindness. She teaches kindness and meditation to children and works very much with the children. And she's very involved with many organizations like Sign, which Enlightened World is a member of, and also We the World, Compassion Games. So she's out there, she's active, and she lives her talk. So I'm very grateful for you, very grateful that I know you and that you're in my life and what you brought to us today with that meditation.
Look at the match of you two, the beauty of you two harmonizing so perfectly together, because she is kindness. I mean, Karen is literally kindness on legs, right? And here we have, I just have to say this, Teri Angel, here we have the beauty of you. You are at every bit as magnificent an expression as Karen Palmer is with your, I'm going to get very emotional, your gratitude, your beauty, your kindness. You are one of the most, like, you're an actual treasure. And I don't know whether you know that. You're an actual treasure on the planet. And how brilliant it is that we know that about you and we get to experience that about you. So thank you as well.
Thank you, Anea. That means so much to me. You touch my heart, and you don't make me cry. I still got stuff to do.
Okay.
Shannon Lane, this was fun for me because I had only I'd spoken to people who knew Shannon, but I had not experienced Shannon myself. Shannon has a blended heritage of Yankton, Dakota, Chickasaw, and European heritage. And Shannon came in and led a meditation connecting us to our ancestors. I don't mean my parents. I don't mean my grandparents, way, 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 way back. And I realized while she was doing that so much of my time is in the present and the future. And I don't think about the past. I don't think about my ancestors. So that was a real gift for me to experience that. And I want to share with you that while she was doing the meditation, I saw a triangle, and I was the tip point, and Teri was one point, and Deb was one point. So here was this triangle of us in this home, and then there was a circle around us. We've seen that symbol many times, and it was the archangels, and they had their wings, arms around each other, and they enclosed us in a circle of their love during Shannon's meditation. It was really profound for me. And one of the things that Shannon said that I really appreciated, her grandfather had said this to her when she went off to college. He said, the most sacred journey a person will take is the one from your head to your heart. So Shannon, thank you so much for being with us.
I felt like we were a triangle too, the way that we were set up back here for a while.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
that
true.
was two down here and
we were
upstairs, and yeah.
Beautiful.
Bill Kratzman. Bill is an amazing pianist. He has a business called Music as Self-Care, and he teaches people how to use music for healing. He works a lot with people that have been in the military, that are, veterans. He spends a lot of time in healing groups, helping people. So today he led us on a beautiful meditation with learning how to have intentional listening. He asked everybody to connect to a song that really resonated with them, that they really loved, and then allowing yourself to open and connect to experiencing the music with all of your senses. And his focus today was on forgiveness, but he took us through learning how to be vulnerable first so that we can forgive. And he used music to help you connect with allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to then forgive. It was just a beautiful meditation of learning a new tool, a new skill, and what was so awesome is it was different than a lot of the other things that we were doing today, and it was just showing how diverse um, the tools are out there and people's gifts to hopefully resonate with somebody. Uh, but anyway, yeah, it was learning how to somatically embrace by listening and experiencing whatever you need to let go. Very powerful.
On Sue Broom, how much we love her. Sue is so connected with the angels, and the meditation that she led us through today was to go into a healing room with the angels and to lay down on a crystal healing bed. And the way she took us through it, the visualization, you were there. You were just there. And I needed that so much. And like I had explained to her, it's been quite a day. We've done a lot today. And sitting there listening to her lead me into that healing room, put me on that crystal bed. It's what my soul needed. It's what my body needed. So I'm so grateful to you and your chimes. The chimes were there, of course. And it was just wonderful. Her energy is so soft, gentle. You angels when she speaks. You know that they are right there with her.
Right.
And what they did for us in that healing meditation today was very profound. And then at the end, he says, you can come to this healing room anytime. You can lay on this healing bed, this crystal bed, anytime. Just breathe it in. And she had us breathe in the energy of that. And I loved it. I loved your meditation, Sue. Thank you so much for being with us, for being such a part of the Enlightened world and all that you bring to us and offer.
And I have to say, I think her name is very suitable, Sue Broom. Her energy really helps me because I first came across Sue, I don't even know how I did, but a meditation of Sue's. And it was like a clean sweep, It was just like, oh, this woman, there is something, I mean, obviously she works with the angels, she's a very magical person, but there's something very particular about Sue's energy that I just resonate with. And I think you're right when you say she's just such a beautiful, beautiful woman. She really is a beautiful being on this planet. So again, please pay attention to Sue's session and really enjoy what she has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Ah!
Oh, it is.
Wow, that kind of feels weird, I have to say. Oh.
As we continue on, that was a beautiful channel about forgiveness. Oh my goodness. It was all about forgiving ourselves. And you were right there. It just came to you, and the message was just so it was so powerful, it was so loving, it was so caring. And you have a beautiful voice, and so I just love listening to you channel, especially bringing divine messages. And it was about releasing the thought that you have done something wrong, and creating a space of tolerance and grace. And then you went into holding our baby self, and knowing that we're that same perfection right now. that that's never changed. That innocence, that beautiful divinity that we see in the baby is what we all still are. So it's about cradling yourself. This is all this channeling that came through and loving yourself. And then you said something that I thought was profound. You are a petal on the universal flower of humanity.
Ooh,
It was
that's
so
beautiful.
beautiful.
They weren't my words. That was not even my words.
Well, you channeled them through. You spoke these magnificent words. So I believe that anybody listening, going back and listening to your channeling, is going to really appreciate what you brought forth in healing.
Well, and that needs to go on a meme.
It doesn't need to go on a meme.
Yeah, that goes on Facebook. But to that.
We're fixing you up.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. I just had to write it down.
Oh, I love it.
You know,
It was absolutely beautiful. Sorry, it was absolutely beautiful.
it was. One of the things I appreciate about your work, Renee, is when you feel something, it's okay to let a couple tears out. I know some other folks would just like, oh no, I can't show that emotion, or I don't want people to see that. You just let it go. And I love that about you, because you know what? It gives me permission to let it go. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And that's so powerful, isn't it? I spent
it is.
so much of my life trying to hide how I was feeling because I felt so broken for so much of my life. And then, you know, meeting the angels and archangels and really meeting God. And God was amazing. When I first met, I call him. We know there's no, you know, when I first met God, and it was incredible. It's so beautiful. I just love it so much. And he reached out his hands and he's made a cradle. It was just so lovely. And I crawled in and he showed me that I'm not broken at all. And it's okay to feel whatever I feel. And it's all right to let it be expressed into the world. And just crawled in there like a little girl. I just cuddled into these incredibly soft hands. And it's just made such a difference in my world, my whole life. Just the axis just tipped and I went from feeling damaged and unlovable to just so grateful, just so grateful for it all, and so grateful for myself and the permission I have to work at it, don't get me wrong. I really have to work. Caroline knows, don't Caroline? I obsessed beforehand. Oh God, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, what if I stuff it up? But just go for it, guys. Love yourself. Please, please, please just go for it. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
And our last,
I'm just so blessed and grateful that I get to work beside this beautiful woman every day. So she just really, what you see is what you get. And that's beautiful.
That is beautiful. Thank you both.
Yeah.
So our last session was with Rachel Collier-Hammock, and you can tell I've talked a lot today. You would think after 11 hours, 12 hours of live streaming, that it would just kind of dwindle down in the energy. Rachel is energy. She is energy. And the session that she did, this meditation that she did called Mother Earth, Father Sky, brought us all up. It really brought the energy up. And it was such a beautiful, expansive meditation. And he had us go through, I love me. I love me. And then you expand that out to, like if you have a spouse or a significant other, I love us. And then you expand it further into your family, your extended family, your friends, your neighborhood, just really expanding from tiny all the way up to the universe. And it was wonderful. She brings so much energy to everything she does. I know Rachel. I know what her hugs are like. I know what her energy is like. Being with her in person and seeing her in that meditation was a joy, a real joy and a treat for all of us. So if you haven't seen her yet, you will really be blessed in doing this meditation with her and really following. And the joyful part, she had a live audience. She had support that had gathered there with her where she was doing the live streaming, and they were doing the meditation as she was leading it. So it was to feel more profound energy with that happening. Thank you, Rachel, for what you brought to us today. Much love to you.
Okay, so I'm just going to say what I'm hearing. So as you were saying that, Teri, about having an audience, doing the meditation with you and live streaming it, that's what I've seen for our retreats.
Yeah.
So yes, future. Aw, look at those.
Well, look at before we got here.
Beautiful. You are all so beautiful.
All right.
Well, do you want to see real beauty?
Ooh, that.
No, the other one was more beautiful. Sorry.
That's the view. That was the gift we received today at the end of the healing sessions. That was I looked out there and it was like, thank you.
Beautiful.
It was a thank you. So before we do this ceremony of light, and for those of you that are tired of listening to us, because we have been on an hour and a half already, this one is not actually all that long. But I really just have to thank Deb and Teri. Holy cow, this absolutely could not have happened without you. And what a blessing to be sitting in the same room with you all, doing it here. So, thank you. So if we can just take a few minutes, if you all have it in you to do one last, going in. Yep, almost.
Okay.
So at the summits, Archangel Michael and Divine Mother have shown us a healing pool. And this healing pool is in the ethereal realm, and souls in and out of body can go to this healing pool. And the archangels are there to provide healing. Lots and lots of other angels are there. Divine Mother is there. Archangel Michael's always been there. Archangel Raphael. And when I show up at this healing pool, it appears to be outside, but there's no ceiling, there's no walls. It is as expansive as one can fathom a space to be, because it's open all the time. There's no day, there's no night, but it's always available. It's always open for hundreds and thousands of souls. I have seen literally hundreds and thousands of souls there at a time receiving healing. And that healing pool has been part of our summits. And so what I would like to do is, if you are up for it, just close your eyes. We're going to take a look around the healing pool. We'll just show up, just take a deep breath and just let it out. So when I approach the healing pool, I'm seeing folks walking with me. And I'm seeing people that attended the summit today. I see people that participated in the summit. I see several people. I see you all in spirit. There are some there that have already transitioned out of body. I see a number of people with us now that are still in body, and a number carrying suitcases with things, hurt emotions, grief, anger, sadness, physical pain, unmet expectations. Whatever folks are ready to let go of now, that they've been holding on to, that's been weighing them down here in the physical realm, that they are ready to let go of. And as you come up the hill and step into this area of the healing pool, there is a large gate there, which I think is fascinating. It's very tall and looks almost like wrought iron, but it's, you know, the tall version. And as you step over the threshold and drop off your suitcase, if you brought one in, everybody has an angel coming up to meet them and to escort them into the pool. Well, this pool is out in nature. It's surrounded by, it almost looks like a rock quarry. It looks like red rock, very tall. And you can step into the healing pool. You can choose to sit around the healing pool if you don't want to go in. I encourage you to go in if you're at all interested. And just take a look around and see what all's there. And what you'll notice, I'm seeing a lot of pink, like rose petals. I don't know that they're roses per se, but pink rose petals floating in the water as well as on the ground. And I've been told before that each petal symbolizes a soul that's been there. And we had heard that in one of the other meditations. So, whose was it? It was about the, oh, Inea. You were a petal on the universal flower of humanity. And here at the healing pool, there's one petal symbolizing each soul. So yes, yes, yes. And as we look around, we see in the water, I see lotus blossoms, and inside each lotus blossom is a floating candle, and they're all lit. And it's darkish out, so the candlelight shines. And as we look at the water, I see elementals. If you're not sure what elementals are, they're smaller beings that to me have to do with nature. There's different forms. Divas are longer, thinner. Some people see fairies, nymphs. They're all different, but they're energetic beings that are found in nature when you're able to see those. And they are like floating in the water, playing in the water, and just being delightful because there's light and there's energy associated with it. And as you stop and look at the pool, whether you're standing in it, sitting in it, kneeling next to it, wherever you are, we're just gonna take a minute and just look at our surroundings and see what you can notice. So I'm noticing that some of the souls, some of the spirits in the healing pool are putting the healing water over their heads, scooping it up and putting it over their heads. And every one has an angel next to them that's there really just to support them through this process. And I can see angels helping to run water over people. And someone's showing me a hurt leg, and she and the angel are putting the healing water over the hurt leg. Others are doing emotional release. I'm hearing crying, I'm hearing laughing, I see Summer dancing in the water, splashing the water with Kieran Palmer. It doesn't surprise me that some of our speakers are here. And if you look around, you can see the rock walls, and there is a waterfall up at the top. And folks are lined up to get in under the water and just feel that healing coming down over them. It really is looking quite magical.
Mm.
Now, this healing pool as well is one that you may come back to at any time. Just go into meditation, open your heart, open your mind, ask the archangels or Divine Mother, Jesus or God, to take you back to the healing pool. You're always welcome. And now for our ceremony of light. Each of you that's in the water, each of you that's out of the water has got an angel next to you offering you a hand to come step out of the water. You can certainly go back in a few minutes, but we're going to step outside the water and we're going to create a ring, a circle around the water. So as I'm seeing the spirits there, it's angel, soul, angel, soul, angel, soul. And what I'm seeing right behind that circle is another circle, a little larger circle. And it's all angel runners. And those runners, when they hear the name of the person in the circle, take the name of that person and fly it up and make sure that the name gets written into the book of life. And what it means when you say your name out loud, it means that you are open to divine love. It means that you are open to sharing divine love in our physical realm. It means that we have a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And it also means that when you go into meditation, that the spiritual divinity says, I know you. I know your heart. I see you. You are my beloved. So I would like you to think for a minute, would you like to be known to the spiritual divinity in that way? And if that is something that is in alignment with your soul, wanting to connect with the spiritual divinity in that way, when it's comfortable for you, just say your full name out loud. And the angel runner will take your name, fly it up, and make sure that it's written into the book of life. So we're just going to take a few minutes. If you're comfortable, say your name out loud.
Anaya Joy Holili.
Harold and Cross.
And I see that the angel runners are running names up. I see that as people are saying their names out loud, that the angel next to them reaches down and gives them a hug. There's celebration here at the healing pool. And everyone I see now at the healing pool is holding a candle. It's a white candle and it's lit. And I see that everyone in the inner circle, which is all of you and your angel, holds their candle out in front of them and raises it up. And I see the collective light of all of these candles burning so bright, and it's giving me goosebumps actually looking at it. And that light is a collective statement to the divine that we are one. We are one with the divine. We are love. We are nothing but love. And I see that as that light goes up and is intensified by the collective numbers of those holding on to the light, that the light is so much stronger. It's almost blindingly white as I look at it. And the energy radiating off of that light is immense. And I see that light raising up to the heavens. And I see that God is returning that light tenfold down to us. And I see us just basking in that light, that love. That divine promise that God is in us and we are of God. I see dancing, I see crying, I see folks heading back into the healing pool to experience the love and the magic that's there, just waiting. I'm gonna have Deb play that song, and we're just going to enjoy being at the healing pool for a couple of minutes. Oh, we don't. Okay, maybe we're not gonna. Yes, we are. That's beautiful. I don't know if you all felt that, but I have tears. I so felt Divine Mother, and I felt the words that she had embodied to us in one of the summits. I see you, I hear you, I know your heart. You feel that? I'm just,
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
I'm dripping over here. So it's been a long day. We'd love to have you here with us in the room. We're going to do that one of these days.
Yeah.
Archangel Michael has given us this blessing to share with you whenever we have a ceremony of light. And it reminds us that we belong with the spiritual divinity, right next to the spiritual divinity, but we also have a place here in this physical realm where we're needed. Here's the words that have been given to me. May it be with the blessings of God, the universe, Divine Mother, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, and Archangel Raphael, that you, beloved of God, is anointed with love, light, and blessings to step further into your role of sacred being. This blessing is bestowed upon you such that you and all souls will be transformed through love and light. May every action taken and every word be said for the highest good of your growth, divine purpose, and for all involved. May you always seek guidance and counsel when you are unsure of your way. In love and light, amen. So now, friends, as we go out into the world, coming from this space of love, connection, and wholeness, may we remember that in all of our actions, in all our doings, that we are never alone. We stand in this community of spirit and humans together, and we know that we can always return to the healing pool with Divine Mother and to this place of oneness that we hold dear in our hearts. And with that, we wish you all a beautiful evening, and with much love, God bless.
God bless. Oh,
We have two hands on the other end, so let's make this a really big circle of love.
absolutely. Got you.
People on Facebook with us. When in doubt, never underestimate the power of prayer. You are being listened to and heard throughout the universe, and it always responds with infinite and eternal love. Remember to go inside and listen through your heart for the whispers of heaven. God bless you. We love you. Bye-bye.